Home sales have dropped a staggering 20% nationally, but only a prepared mind is going to see the opportunity. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, welcome to the channel. If you're new, I want to thank you for coming. If you're returning, I want to thank you for your continued support. Before we get into today's red hot topic, I'm going to politely ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Please watch to the end for my final thought. Hit the bell icon so you're notified when new videos are released. It is very important to stay close to the channel in these very tricky times. All right, folks, welcome to the channel. It's always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. Buckle up and strap in. I got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows and sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. And friends, we got some massive issues unfolding right now in the U.S. housing market. I laugh at this stuff. It's like a built-in self-defense mechanism to wrap my head around what's exactly going on. And like I opened up the show with, friends, only a prepared mind is going to see the opportunity. Most people are going to be blindsided by this downturn. And here's the thing, it's almost comical for me to continue to see people reporting, posting, broadcasting that somehow no crash risk here. Are you kidding me? Have you seen Las Vegas lately? Las Vegas is in massive trouble. No shocker. Here's the things. I've talked about this before. If you're new, please subscribe. Subscribe right away. There has never been a more important time in history to get forward thinking, critical thinking, centered and surrounded with like-minded people, friends. This has all happened before. I laugh at this stuff because I find it comical that we've always had, historically, booms and busts in the real estate market. They just come. It's just part of the fabric of our markets. Now this one, because of it being artificially created through a once in a century, a once in a lifetime event, a lockdown of a global economy, I mean, anybody that doesn't see this one coming is just completely out of touch with reality. Now, for whatever reason, I had a moment of clarity and I came to the channel and I created this channel when I saw this explode, because as an active boots on the ground real estate professional, somebody who's been in and around real estate for many years, I just knew that there was no way this one could sustain itself. This was an artificially produced housing bubble, courtesy of a health pandemic, where we implemented many stimulus measures. But the one stimulus measure that we're guilty of doing, I shouldn't say we, it was our courtesy of our federal government, insanity. Lowering interest to stimulate the economy and save off a recession. We're going to have a double dip recession. Just so you know, we had the shortest recession recorded in 100 years in the pandemic, because we locked ourselves down and then all of a sudden we started implementing stimulus. Everything from eviction bans, foreclosure bans, mortgage forbearance, unemployment benefits, PPP loans. But the number one offender is when you lowered interest rates and made real estate agents essential in a health crisis. Go sell houses, real estate agents. Insane. And then real estate agents doing what? Drinking the Kool-Aid, normalizing this. Insane. And you know how many new agents we attracted in? I mean, it's no shocker, right? In the last boom of 08 era, same exact thing. Anytime the housing market gets red hot, of course, a ton of new people flood in because, I mean, they just drink in the Kool-Aid. I know, because I did it in the last downturn. That's why I'm with you today. I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. So congratulations to anybody that's stuck with the channel. I know it hasn't been easy. This was pure and unadulterated herd mentality. When everybody was, it must be a good time about, I've never seen anything like it. This was never, nobody has ever seen anything like this before, where you couldn't get an open house sign in the yard and you had a line in the street to see house. I've always told people, all I am is when I'm showing properties, a glorified basically a tour guide. I'm basically a tour guide. I don't have to, the house sells itself. Me, I just open the door, let you walk through, answer questions, want to prepare an offer, let's get you into the house. Now today, this is the thing that's really alarming. This has happened before in these cities that are about to fall. Like I mentioned, Vegas, and just side note, I remember seeing some agents had a channel in Vegas, how they were trying to normalize the market. And still, I don't even know where they've gone. They've disappeared. They're apparently off YouTube. Because, I mean, I don't blame them. Like, can you imagine if I'm spreading rainbows and sunshine and FOMOing people in? And there's still channels out there like that. I won't pull, start dropping names because I'm not here to pull anybody's covers. Like, I'm not going to start pointing the finger at people. Listen, a lot of them, I don't think they knowingly started to promote rainbows and sunshine. I think they just drank the Kool-Aid themselves. And they're probably underneath massive payments themselves because many people drank the Kool-Aid. Why, you ask? I'm about to tell you. Well, I've already said it. I'm going to say it again. Herd mentality. It comes down. So, like I said, we've always had booms and busts in the markets. Historically, they've always come. So we just had the biggest boom artificially created in history. So you have to know a bust is always coming. Regardless of how we got to it, a bust has always come. This one is scary because it was manufactured. So as soon as you can wrap your mind around that, acknowledge the elephant in the room. This was an artificial bubble, courtesy of a pandemic, an overstimulation of an economy, whether it was by accident or on purpose, doesn't really matter anymore because we got to get out of the problem and in the solution. And the solution is first of all, admitting there's a problem. First step of getting past the problem, admit there's a problem. Then acceptance, move away from it. That's what we're doing here, friends. Right now, what we're doing is temperature checking and heat mapping the industry. And you know what's crazy for me is we're seeing these cities that attracted the investors where there's land available to build on those spec homes and tracks. And they had the complete, it was a game of musical chairs. They were fine until interest rates got risen. We pulled everybody out of the market, either involuntarily or voluntarily, people got out of this market. So sales have dropped currently, and we're at the front end of this one. We're just getting started. 20% year to date, sales have dropped nationally. That is a pretty steep decline in a very short window of time. In less than a year's time, we've had a 20% decline in sales. This one's projected, even our federal government, our good friend Jerome over at the Fed has said he expects and they're prepared to let a recession manifest in order to control inflation. That's insane. Stuff that we got to talk about. It's insanity, right? Said that this one could last a couple years. A couple years, we can't even last a couple months. And we're already in a 20% decline. If our federal chairman is saying that this could be a couple year recession, can you imagine if we're at the front end with a 20% decline in sales, what would happen in 2 years from now? It's economic depressionary levels of a recession. I've talked about this. You have 3 levels of an economic downturn. You got the correction first, which we've entered now as we see prices cool off, stall, and start trending the other direction in many of these red hot markets, like I mentioned, Vegas, Phoenix. I could go on and on and on. Hot spots all over. And guess what? Because today, this is the problem today. Contagion, because we're all so connected. We're all so connected that this one spreads much quicker than the last one. Like I said, within a short period of time, 20% declines in sales already at the front end of this one. So we're entering in the correction phase, phase 1 of the real estate cool down. And it's cooling off like we've never seen before. I've never seen a bubble cool off this quick. But it doesn't shock me because we've talked about the way we got here and how fast it was produced and the levels it reached. So it's cooling off very fast. I think everybody has to. Anybody that's not admitting, oh yeah, Scott, but my area over here has still got pretty good stuff. Wait, like I said, with contagion, you're next. I've always said your city might be recession insulated, but it's not recession proof. Some cities might be the last to get hit and the first to rebound. They get touched. Some just get hit a lot harder. But like I said, with contagion today, it's going to drag your city along for the ride. It'll be a miracle if it doesn't get touched. Why? Because phase 2 is recessionary levels of a downturn. Once we hit recession, because right now we're seeing, like I said, 20% declines in sales. Prices are starting to soften. It's a correction. Very front end. If we could stop it here, maybe we survive this one. But it doesn't look like we are because our government's already told us it might take a couple year recession to get inflation under control. And that's their number one goal, is control inflation, even if they have to sacrifice and forfeit the financial markets to make it happen. Because if not, middle America's done. It'll be homelessness like you've never seen before. And we've already seen the lawlessness that's already spiking as we've defunded police departments. all over the nation. Bad. Like, this stuff was insane. Wrapping our head around this, like I said, only a prepared mind will see opportunity. I'm preparing you guys. Iron sharpens iron. Talking about the things most of you have thought, and just hearing it communicated in a way that hopefully makes just a little bit of sense. I mean, that's my goal. I always say this is the real estate channel, much bigger than real estate. If we don't stop it at recessionary levels, which most people would say we're already in recessionary levels just because the job numbers reports don't indicate it yet, and we've redefined the definition of recession based on our old mathematical calculations of it with 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, we're already in recession. People are recessing. You see the prices. You're going out to buy groceries. Many people are living in fumes, paycheck to paycheck, starting to lean on credit cards. Banks are sitting back in their conference rooms talking about how we're safe right now. They are throwing stuff overboard. Layoffs in the industry. This is going to be a white collar layoff, not a blue collar. You can still go get a service sector job. Those are all out there. That's our job numbers report. But just wait. This one's trending. We know which way. If we don't stop it at a recessionary level, like I've talked about, by the end of the year, I predict we're going to probably have the government have to report we're in an official recession and announce it. And then it's, because of mainstream media, no free thinkers, critical thinkers, they're reporting on stuff handed down from newsrooms. Can't deviate from the topic. They'll get fired. Thank gosh for YouTube. So the other thing is, friends, this is it. If we don't stop it at a recession, it enters in like we haven't seen in 100 years, and it takes something like we just went through a global lockdown, a global crisis, the fracture of a global economy. We see this happening globally. This isn't just America. This is all over. We're going to enter depressionary levels of an economic downturn. And guess what, friends? Those have cycled throughout history as well. Approximately every 80 to 100 years, a depression has cycled throughout the United States. Insane, right? Insanity. Guess what? We're in the depression cycle. But we'll just push that aside. Because I know a lot of us, I want to see the data. I can't tell you, when I first came to YouTube, Scott, you got any data to support? I don't need data. I'm a walking, talking industry temperature check. And if you're relying on data, this happened in 2008. Many people, there was data out there, and people were still saying, no crash risk here, and it came, and it came. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Forward thinking, critical thinking. Only a prepared mind is going to see the opportunity. Acknowledging the elephant in the room, putting a percentage of likelihood. We already are in a correction, and anybody that doesn't see that is clearly just drank so much Kool-Aid, there's no hope for them. Anybody that can admit that is one step closer to moving away from the problem. We are next up is looking like a recessionary level of a downturn. The real estate market is a lagging indicator. The whole economy is showing a recessionary pain, and once mainstream media gets a hold of it, like we've seen, is there a housing? I've seen these headlines. Is there a housing recession? Blah, 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 blah. It's on. Because what happens? You guessed it. The psychology of sales, the psychology of people, herd mentality rears its head once again, flip-flopping to fear and panic. And like our good friend Warren Buffett coined phrase, be fearful when others are greedy, greedy when others are fearful. Fear is around the corner, and this one could reach deep. Watch these big hot spots. Vegas, Phoenix, Miami, you name it. The list goes on and on. Many, many markets all across America with new home builds at just completely frozen in place. Fire sailing. Fire sales are around the corner, and your area might not be protected. You know why? Like I talked about, contagion. If you appreciate the content, I do want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links are in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help selling or buying real estate now, today, and you don't have an agent, there's an email in the description for you as well. I have a network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. If you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I will see you on the next video.